Hey everybody, this is a guided example, hoping to get you started with the Desmos Picture Labs. In Math 171, I normally do two Desmo Picture Labs, one involving lines, linear functions, and one involving parabolas. So with both labs, you want to start by importing a picture into Desmos. So I'm in the Desmos graphing calculator right now. I do include the URL in the lab instructions. I have already imported a picture, but to import a picture, you go up to add item and you go down here to image and then you upload your picture. So I have the picture here. There are some options to move around a bit or stuff, make the size different if you want. I'm going to leave it like it is. And then I'm going to build this picture out of lines. And I find that the sliders are really helpful here. So I'm going to type mx plus b. I'm going to make b a slider. And so the first thing I'm going to want to do, let's start with the top of the building here. I want to try to mimic the slope. And then I want to try to drag up the y-intercept. Maybe go, let's go kind of in the middle here. Yeah, I'm liking that. Maybe, yeah, I like that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay, so we have the top line here on the picture, and you can always toggle the picture on and off. Now that I've set the line, let's restrict the line segment. So I'm going to use squiggly brackets here. And I can use sliders here as well to help me with this. Yeah, let's make these sliders. So C, I want to pull back to about right here. Let's see. Yeah, negative 0.78 looks good. And then D, let's drag that out to about right here right now. All right, so I have all these sliders. The sliders get a bit busy after a while. So to keep the document from being too awfully long, let's replace the sliders that we set. That way we can get rid of them for right now. Okay, so I set the first line here. So then I'll move on to the next line. Why don't we do the left side of the building here next? And I can again use sliders to get me started. This is going to be pretty steep. And actually, I think I'm going to have to expand both of these. Let's go negative 100 to 100, and let's have a steepness. I will go to the second decimal place. Same idea here. So part of this is just playing around, having some fun with the, yes, it's pretty close to a vertical line, yeah. Playing around, having some fun with Desmos. All right. That looks good. Let's go ahead and move that up here. Keep this from being quite as busy. All right, then we're going to have to restrict this, and it's going to be very narrow. So let's change the steps here to like 3 decimal places. That should be fine. Yeah. Okay, let's try 0.8. That's going to undershoot it. Okay, 0.1 is not quite getting us there. We're getting closer. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, that slider, that's the left side. And then the right side is going to be same idea, but we're going to have to crank the volume down big time here. Yeah. Let's do like 8. 2, that's not quite. 3, that's too much. 8 to 5, no, I'm going the wrong way. That's pretty close. Maybe get, yeah, I like that. Okay. And then let's move that up here so that the sliders don't get too hectic down here. So those are your first 2 lines set. You can always toggle the picture on and off. Yeah, so this would be the first 2 lines. Typically, there are instructions for how many lines to include, but what's also important is that you want your picture to look complete. Okay, so this doesn't really look like much when you turn your picture off. So when you turn your picture off, it needs to look like a picture. I'm looking for a complete picture, not just working to the minimum line count and stopping. Some of the questions that we're going to work, one of the lab, so usually I do a linear lab and a quadratic lab. Why don't we work with quadratic model here. And I didn't put anything particularly interesting that could be shown as a curve. Maybe we try to hit these bushes right here. All right. And yeah, it's not bad. Let's see here. Let's stretch you and okay. And then I could restrict this. Let's actually go ahead and move this stuff up here. That way I can reuse letters. And the plus 0 is, not necessary. Times 0 is not necessary either. Anyways, we're hitting above the bushes here. And then I can restrict my domain. It's doing a nice job drawing it there. Maybe I want to restrict it to right there and to right there. Yeah, something like that. So, the goal here is to have some fun, play around with transformations, moving around models, play around with restricting the domain. I'm happy to check your work for you if you send it to me before you submit it. So it's a nice start here. Got a little bit more work to do to get this to look like a picture. Okay, so something that students often struggle with is, what do I turn in? So you need to share with me the URL to your graph. So how do you get that? In the top right, there's a share graph button. And I think you click share snapshot. This URL right here is going to be unique to your graph. So this URL is a great way for you to save your work and come back later. You just need to keep up with this URL. And then this URL is what you would email to me if you want me to check your work. This URL is also what you want to submit in Blackboard in order to turn this assignment in. So the URL is really important. I need to be able to toggle your picture on and off. I want to be able to look over all of your expressions. So I need access to your graph to do that. So make sure you are turning in the share link and not just a picture of your graph. Okay, so happy to check this for you. Email me, reach out if you have any questions.